Oh, God. I look like shit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Achieving Failure. I'm your host Chris, and this week we're bringing you another exciting episode. This week we are going apartment shopping. For me, after getting discharged from the military, I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to finally pursue a career in the cinematography field, and what better place than the city of Boston, Massachusetts? The land of lobster rolls, Red Sox, Paul Revere. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achieving Failure. I'm your host Chris, and this week we're going apartment shopping. For me, after getting discharged from the military, I thought it would be a nice opportunity to finally pursue a career in the cinematography field, and what better college and place than the city of Boston, Massachusetts? Land of lobster rolls, Red Sox, Paul Revere, and the mecca of bars that would have you drinking to your wits' end because a liver transplant is cheaper than filling up your car with gas at the gas station. Apartment shopping can be stressful at times, but it can also be fun. Getting to explore new dwellings, get new ideas on how you want to rearrange things and decorate, your wants and needs of what the perfect place can be. But then you have some stories that are just so out of control and unrealistic that for sure this never happened. But for me, it did. This is apartment shopping in Boston.
Welcome to Achieving Failure, a podcast that gives you a break from politics, popular trends, and brings you good old-fashioned life stories that made us who we are today. Sit back and relax with your host Chris as he brings you another exciting adventure on how to achieve failure.
Oh, Boston. Will this be my love letter to a place I'll never really get to live in? After visiting and looking into multiple schools, I finally decided on one that I really had an interest in attending. Some time passed as I constantly found myself bouncing back and forth between New Jersey and Massachusetts, trying to iron out the final details and the acceptance and all the financial situations. Finally, after months of stressing out and getting paperwork in order, the time came where all I needed was a final acceptance from the school. Now, one would think the easy part's over with, yet you can quickly forget, oh yeah, I need a place to stay. So I turned to the one place a lot of people would call a quick solution to solving their problems. The solution? Craigslist. Oh boy, Craigslist. The playground of whistle-dick scammers who have nothing better to do than post fake ads for their victims to respond to. The day I came back to New Jersey, my days were a blur of responding to ads, trying to find a place under $1,000. Now, you gotta mind, this is way back in 2012, so I believe the prices might have gone up a little bit. After sending out emails to multiple people in hopes of a response, I was actually surprised, as my inbox started exploding with responses. Oh, yes, the desperation of people either trying to break their lease early from their apartments or those frantically pulling out their hair due to the stress of finding a roommate in order to cover monthly rent. I opened the first email, which included the following. Hello, my name is Reverend Beantown Physio. I am the rightful owner of this place, and yes, it is still very much available for rent. Rent is $700 and the security deposit is $500. I am a Christian who much believes in God. I worship at the Haitian Evangelical Missionary Church. I was in the States before I was transferred for service in West Africa. Since unfortunately we are not in the area and have the keys, please FedEx a fully refundable deposit and we shall send you the keys. Right there. I said, thank you. I'm going to keep looking. The days went by as I sat like a zombie, staring into the white, flash-banged background of the Craigslist ads, sending out responses to more ads. I finally got another one. Hello, my name is Christina, and yes, my condo is still available. I'm 47, and it's $700 a month. Sadly, I had to move, and I'm in the United Kingdom. Thank you. Next. Hi. My name is Reverend Billy Chamber, and the apartment you applied for is $800 a month. Sadly, I am not in the area due to missionary work, and I'm in West Africa. It's like, oh, come on, dude. You're not even trying at this point. At least Christina was original, and she picked a different country to live in. How often are you people posting ads from West Africa doing missionary work? Finally bit the bullet and decided I'd go with a real estate broker. It's a little more expensive because I have to pay a fee. However, at least I'll find a real place that actually exists. I contacted a couple people that were more than happy to set up an appointment for the next Saturday. Awesome. Step 1 complete. I packed my bags and prepared for yet another trip to Boston. Now every time I drive up there, I feel like I'm playing Russian roulette with my truck because it's quickly approaching 200,000 miles. It's rusted, the wheels shake, and every time I dare take this truck on an adventure, especially on a 3 to 4 hour drive to the dead of night, I'm always thinking, could this be my last one? After driving through 3 hours of all types of weather conditions, clear skies, rain, more clear skies, blanket of snow, flurries, clear skies again, I finally made it to Boston with no problems. I met up with my friend Jackie, and we headed out to the first realtor. Apartment 1. Noon. Appointment for a studio. $9.25 a month. Jackie and I walked into the office, and I introduced myself. The realtor stood up. He was about 6 feet tall, kind of skinny, mid-20s looking. As I shook his hand, he gave me a confused look, and I knew right there, here we go. The realtor started frantically fumbling through his paperwork and then looked at me and said, "Did I say 12? I meant 1 p.m. I responded cheerfully, "No, I'm sorry. You said noon. I mean, I even wrote it down, but I said if you'd like, I could come back in an hour." After some disbelief on how the situation is already going, I came back in an hour and we all hopped in a car and drove to the first location. $9.50 a month for the studio, he mentioned as we approached the apartment complex. Confused because this was not the number he posted in the article. I disregarded it as we walked to the front door and down a staircase in this dark, dank, smelling, failed renovation project that wanted to be an apartment complex. All the walls were bleached white and exposed, plumbing lay everywhere in the ceiling. As we approached the room, we passed the laundry areas. One of the washing machines sounded like somebody was washing bricks and gravel. "Here we go," he said as he opened the door. "Oh, great. This is great. The laundry room is right next to the room I'm interested in." As he opened the door, I felt like I suddenly walked into a janitor's closet somebody converted into a unit. If you turn to your side, you quickly knock shit off the countertop and the stove at the same time, which are on either end of the rooms. I walked into the studio/bedroom, and to my amazement, what a luxurious place this is. About 5 feet by 7 feet. Just enough to somehow cram a twin-sized bed, and maybe if you're lucky, you still have enough room to kind of suck your gut in and press against the wall and waddle and shuffle your way to the bathroom. The realtor says, "Yeah, we have another place down the road, which is $9.75 a month, and it's a little bigger than this." I replied, "Yes, please." We all hopped back into the car and continued to the new location. During our travels, he mentioned, "Now, just fair warning, some of the apartments that are on the market are still occupied with tenants who are anticipating on moving out." I said, okay. We approached the next place and walked to the front door into a lobby that it looked like it had that turn-of-the-century look and all the asbestos to go with it. Brown wooden door frames, brown shellac-stained walls, light brown quarter-sized tiles. We proceeded to walk up a long spiraling staircase that the best way to describe this would be if you came home really drunk one day, the best way to find your room would to be curl up in a ball in a random hallway, cry yourself to sleep, wake up in the morning and try again, and because there is no way you're going to find this place. Everything looked the same. From the same looking tiles in the floor to the same placement of cracks in the walls. Everything was almost like a mirror image, minus maybe some cobwebs here or there. Maybe you could use that as a reference point. After 3 spiraling floors of staircases, that I was also curious. I said, how do you move furniture in and out of these places? We approached the room and he opened the door, and my God, the room was about 4 times the size of the last place and so much nicer. And for $50 more, I wandered around the apartment, which was also occupied at the time, but the tenant was not present. As I went from room to room, I commented on just kind of how awkward it is to go through other people's houses. The realtor commented, "Oh yeah, sometimes the tenants come home, freak out, and try to fight the future tenants because they forgot on this particular day we were showing a unit." I'm like, "Oh, that's great." As I'm sitting there reading the dry erase board completely filled with chemical formulas, I noticed a baseball bat sitting by the entry door to the apartment. Okay, I like this place, but let's head out now. I announced a bit loudly as Jackie said, "Oh, come look at the kitchen." I said, "It's nice. I already saw it. Let's go. I just want to go." We left in haste and serious consideration of the place as we returned to the car. During the drive back, we drove through an intersection. And in Boston, the roads are already confusing enough. But we were driving over trolley tracks, and I believe through a red light, too. I stared out the passenger window, watching a Mercedes quickly approach the side of the car as I could see the whites in the driver's eyes grow larger as he had no anticipation of stopping. Luckily, the realtor picked up on the fact that, "Oh yeah, I should speed up so we don't get T-boned." He speeds up as we barely avoid a car accident while he's laughing. "Oh wow, that was a close one. It's a good thing we have insurance." I chuckled a little as not to expose myself as the complete nervous wreck that I was at the moment. We're 50 feet from the car, and it's almost over. As Jackie and I departed, I suddenly realized that the realtor never showed me the places advertised in the ad. He just brought me to random places and asked us what we thought. Anyway, one realtor down, one more to go. The next day, we took care of some things around town and then headed off to Somerville to meet with another realtor for a 4:30 meeting. We get there a couple minutes late due to bad directions from a GPS system that I wanted to rip out of my friend's windshield and launch from whatever open window was available. As we walk into the office, a Spanish lady came to greet us. I introduced myself, saying, "Hi, I have a meeting with John." Then there's a pause as she stares at me for a second and says, "John?" I look around and I ask, "Is this the realtor's place?" She responds, "Well, what street is the apartment on?" I said, "I have no idea. All I know is I'm supposed to meet with John at 4:30. She starts wandering around the office in a failure attempt to find him. She comes back and escorts us down a long, windy hallway to a conference room where she gives me an application to fill out while she tries to locate John. I thank her. I sit down, fill the form out, and I'm looking at the clock on the wall, and I'm looking at Jackie, and now it's 5 p.m. The sun's going to start setting soon. As I'm filling out the form, another older lady walks into the conference room and gives us a polite smile as I start to ask, "Hey, how is this area?" She looks at me and starts talking in the thickest Russian accent with a response of complete confusion, which has nothing to do with the question I just asked. She just goes on this tangent about train stations and bus stops, and Jackie kindly asked, no, the area itself. Is it a nice area or a crummy area? Still completely confused, she excuses herself and gets someone who can help answer the question better than she can. As she calls for another, an elderly man walks into the room as I grab Jackie's hand, almost crushing bones because I was not prepared for the next thing I saw. The nice old man walks in the room, about 6 feet tall, late 70s, wrinkly with glasses, but only one eye. And not a patch or a glass eye, but closed eyelids with a sucked indent of where the eye used to be present. As he talks to me, I try my hardest to concentrate on the good eye. We get word that they finally found John. The man of the hour is here, and he gestures this way and escorts us to a black Ford Taurus that's parked sideways, blocking the street, as if he was running late and had no time to parallel park like everybody else. Assuming that was our ride, we hopped in the back seat, and only then did I actually ask, like, hey, are you John? And, well, luckily he was. As he shifts the car into third gear, the entire engine jumps, and we begin our travels to the apartments. While maneuvering through the endless maze of one-way streets, the ambient aroma of the car's interior tickled our nostrils, of subtle hints of stale cigarette smoke, old people, and notes of burning transmission fluid. John started rambling with sentences that sounded like that of a post-stroke victim as I watched his hands violently shake while trying to hold the steering wheel. We finally approached the house and walked through the first door into the enclosed porch. John reaches for his custodian ring of keys, which was nothing short of like 30-plus keys. Like the sounds of the Salvation Army Santas ringing the bell at Christmas time, the keys jingled as he looked for one to open the main door. Jackie and I stood waiting patiently. He tries the first key. Doesn't seem to work. Second key. Third key. I look at Jackie, raising my eyebrows in anticipation of any day now look on my face. 7, 8, 9. Now I'm trying hard to keep a straight face. I start coughing as an excuse not to laugh. 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 failed attempts to try to open this door. I'm starting to question if we're even at the right place, or if the owner's going to greet us with the tone of, the police are on their way. I'm slipping. I'm pushing Jackie out of the way as I almost trip and fall down the stairs. I had to get out. I wasn't going to make it. I was seconds from losing control. I'm holding my breath. I'm shaking. I finally turned the corner and let out a silent burst of laughter, masking the movements with a severe cough, mentioning that I need to stop smoking. I collect myself and return to the porch as the main door is now open. We proceed into the foyer and up the main stairs to the second floor. The realtor knocks on the door as the girl answers and lets us in. Now the situation has become even more awkward because someone has been there the entire time listening to this whole interaction. We quickly glance around the place. Wide open kitchen living room concept. Nice vaulted ceilings, recently smoked weed bong sitting on the coffee table. Nice bright porch to sit for relaxing. The girl excuses herself, collecting her smoking material in a subtle movement that totally screamed, oh shit, I was not expecting people to be showing up right now and I am totally busted. John follows and asks if we could see the bedroom. And a guy's voice responds, yeah, come on in. We enter the room to see a girl standing in the room alone, yet no one else. Confused for a minute, I quickly glance around and proceed to leave. As we're walking out towards the car, the silence of footsteps were interrupted by John turning to us and asking, was that a guy or a girl? I looked at John puzzled and then glanced at Jackie for some hope of clarifying if I was crazy or not for asking too, but you heard a guy's voice, right? You didn't see a guy in there, right? Who else was living in there? We all kind of just shrugged it off and clambered into the car and departed. The last place was actually really nice, and I was sold, but of course complications with school arose, and I had to completely abandon the idea of going to school in Boston. But that is a story for another day. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode and had a good couple laughs throughout, because everything is real. For everyone watching us on the YouTube, if you would kindly like and subscribe to this channel, we greatly appreciate it. You guys liking the video gives us motivation to make more content or just give up. I don't know. Everyone listening, streaming online, if you could become a member, that'd be awesome too. Again, we're just here to share stories and give you guys entertainment. Till next week, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. For more info, Find us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you have a story you'd love to share, shoot us an email at aflvpodcast@gmail.com. That's AF, Achieving Failure, LV, Las Vegas, podcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next time.